Okay, so let's talk about Cobol now. 여러분 이제 Cobol 얘기할게요. So Cobol is actually an acronym. Did you guys know it's an acronym for Common Business? Let me write it down. Common Business Oriented Language. So it's a compiled English-like computer programming language designed for business use. What business use? What is business use? So anything with business terms, Yeah, I'm saying anything with business. I hated business, guys. Literally, business is in the name. Oh, it's common business-oriented language? What's the CO? What's O? Just because it's common? Oh, shoot. So it is imperative procedural, and since 2022. Shoot, it looks like sheep. Cobol sounds like Korean swear word. If you get, yeah, Cobol, yeah, Cobol. Oh, if I want to swear, you guys, I'll talk about Cobol. Ah, did you guys know Cobol? Good language, guys. Cobol. 야, 나 짜증날 때. 아, Cobol. Cobol. She what? Cobol. Cobol. I imagine that's what Cobol broke. Anyways, primarily used in business, finance, administrative system for companies and governments. Still widely used in mainframe computers such as large-scale batch and transaction processing job. However, due to its declining popularity and retirement of experienced Cobol programs are, oh my god, this is awful sentence, are migrated to a new platform, rewritten in modern language, or replaced with software package. So most programming in Cobol is purely to maintain existing application. However, oh, migrating? Oh shoot. You know what? That's why I had to increase Wikipedia, cause it's so far. 아, 나 요즘 눈도 나빠지는 것 같아. Guys, my eyes must be going bad, guys. Damn, okay. To maintain existing application, however, many large financial institutions were still developing new systems in Cobol as late as 2006 due to the mainframe processing speed. So it must be saying Cobol. Cobol must have a very fast. Yeah, I might need actual lenses. Has mainframe processing speed. Is that what we're thinking? So the processing speed must be good. Labong. So let's go into the history. It was designed in 1959. What? By Kodasil? Wow, and was partly based on a programming language Flowmatic. Flowmatic? Wow, Flowmatic? What is Flowmatic? Wow. Stands for First English-like Data Processing Language. Designed by Grace Hoppers, it was created as a U.S. Department of Defense effort to create a portable language portable programming language for data processing. Originally seen as stopgap, but the Department of Defense promptly forced computer manufacturers to provide it, resulting in its widespread adoption. Pre-boomer language네. Wow, 1959, so old. 그치? Oldest baby boomer would have been 13? Wow. 그 다음에 it was standardized in 1968. So 1968 was when it was standardized and hasn't since revised 4 times. 근데 because it must be so bad that it was revised 4 times. Expansions include support such for structured and object-oriented programming. So Cobol statements have a English-like syntax, which was designed to be self-documenting and highly readable. However, it is verbose and use over 300 reserved words. Oh shoot, that is disgusting. Oh, there's Visual Cobol version 2. Oh. In contrast with modern syntax, Cobol has a more English-like syntax. 아, ew! English-like syntax구나, 이게. So people who don't know English-like syntax, this is basically if you want to do like y equal x, this is typical, but Cobol was like move. 그래, move x to y. Oh shoot. 아, it's kind of like SQL. 이거 SQL이랑 비슷한데? So backend. Right? Add 1 to x? Oh my god, that is disgusting. You boosted chat in Discord? How many beers did you have? Oh, sorry. I can see a grandpa spending all day tapping out a dozen lines of code. Containing a rich hierarchy of section, paragraphs, and sentence, lacking a large standard library, the standard specific 43 statements. Academic computer scientists were generally uninterested in business application when Cobol was created and were not involved in its design. It was effectively designed from the ground up as a computer language for business, with the emphasis on input and output, whose only data type were numbers and strings of text. 와, 진짜 이거 역겹다. This is disgusting. Cobol has been criticized throughout its life for its verbosity, design process, and poor support for structured programming. These weaknesses result in monolithic and, though intended to be English-like, not easy comprehensible and verbose program. Verbosity. Oh shoot, okay. Verbosity. Good. It's very English, like it has different parts like environment, really easy importing files, and every function is like numbered paragraph that gets called from the main in sequence. Cobol was still a big step from punch card. Ah! So we started from punch card and then Cobol came in. 근데 guys, like I said, this is why Jinri doesn't like business pages. Cause I think, but you know, for programmers, 근데 for programmers, this language might be icky, but maybe for business people, it might be easier. Oops. Because one thing that I noticed when I took a business class with business people was that they didn't like even R, you know, program R. They even had trouble with this. So maybe like they prefer more to be like word based or text based. So maybe for them it's easier just because we have you know, IT. So boss loves R. Ah, no. I hated R. So yeah. So let's continue with history. So history was late 1950s. Computer users and manufacturers were becoming concerned about rising costs of programming. So the same. 1959 survey has found that in any data processing installation, the programming cost 800,000 on average. Programming cost 800,000 at that time, guys. Wow, if you guys were born at that time, you guys would have been millionaire. Oops, sorry guys. Feel like more text can lead to more looking for errors. That's true. On average, and that translating program to run on new hardware would cost 600,000. 그러니까 이게 기본 금액. This is normal fee, regular one-time fee. 그치? Plus every time Intel got new projects and stuff, it would be 600,000. Not for one program. I think it's programming cost. I think that's for entire project. Yeah. At a time, who's charging that? Who's buying this? At a time when new programming language were proliferated. What is this? Oh. At an ever-increasing rate, the same survey suggested that if a common business-oriented language were used, conversion would be far cheaper and faster. Nowadays, that would be few million? So in 1959, Mary Hawes, a computer scientist at Burroughs Corporation called a meeting of representatives from academia, computer users, and manufacturers at UPenn to organize a formal meeting on common business language, which included Grace Hopper, who's the inventor. 와, 진짜 대박이다. Guys, like this person should be like women, some program, you know, going out women stuff, you know, not some like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything, but let's all do it right. 그냥, you know, there's, you know, Grace Hopper was at the DoD. She's a military? 와, 진짜 이 사람 뭐야? 야! I think so. 와, 대박이다. So, group asked DoD to sponsor an effort to create a common business language, da-di-da-di-da. So, it was created. And people sponsored it. Cobol was made for military use. Oh, DoD was a big player in the early mainframe days. I think so, for at least Cobol. 대박이다. On 28th, 29th of May 1959, a meeting was held at the Pentagon. I know Pentagon now. It's not the Duchi Club Pentagon, which is actually Octagon. To discuss the creation of a common programming language for business. It was attended by 41 people. 41. It was chaired by Phillips. So they were concerned it could run the same data process program on different computer. Club party at Pentagon. 자, same day, so different computer. 그때는 what computer parts were out there? Intel, right? Intel, 저기 뭐냐? IBM? Were they the computer? Fortran, the only mainstream language at the time, lacked the feature needed to write such program. Representatives enthusiastically described a language that could work in a wide variety of environments, from banking and insurance to utility and inventory control. They agreed that more people should be able to program and that the new language should not be restricted by limitations of contemporary technology. Ah, 그럼 this Cobol is like ancestor. That's true. Let me continue reading. A majority agreed that the language should make maximal use of English. Be capable... Whoever agreed, that 41 people agreed on maximal use of English. Ah, this person. Be capable of change, be machine independent, and be easy to use even at the expense of power. Meeting resulted in creation of steering committee and short, intimidated, long-range committees. So the short team was to produce a specification for the interim language, which would be improved by the other committees. Their official mission, however, was to identify the strength and weakness of existing programming language, and did not explicitly direct them to create new language. The short-range committee was made up by 6 manufacturers and 3 people. They were IBM, Honeywell, Burroughs Corporation. Burroughs? How do you pronounce this name? Burrog? I had to learn Cobol in uni because it was in curriculum. Burroughs. Oh shoot. Nice, thanks. Committee mainly examined Flowmatic. Shoot. Grace Hopper also served as that. Flowmatic must have been such an important... Yeah, Flowmatic's main contribution to Cobol was long variable names. I don't know why English spells things with ugh to make it look cool. Yeah, why do they even need W? They can just have this. Borrow. So Flowmatic is important, guys. Note that. Flowmatic. Hopper is sometimes referred to as the mother of Cobol. 아, 그러네. IBM language was regarded. Wow, so much history. Wow, so at the mid-September, the committee discussed a new language name. Suggesting includes BYSY for business system and InfoSYL for information system language. And CocoSil. It is unclear who coined the name Cobol, although Bob Bemer later claimed it had been his suggestion. Oh shoot. Way back in the day, all used to be pronounced. Oh. It has business in the name. It's perfect for us. Yeah. In October, the Intermediate Range Committee received a copy of the FACT. What is up with this language? Language specification. Its features impressed the committee so much that they passed a resolution to base Cobol on it. And what name do you want inscribed? I said, I'll write it for you. I wrote the name Cobol. What kind of name is that? It's a Polish name. We shortened it and got rid of a lot of unnecessary notation. Howard Brogberg on how he brought the Cobol tombstone. It soon became apparent that the committee was too large for any further progress to be made. With the frustration, he bought a tombstone with Cobol engraved and sent it to Charles Phillips to demonstrate his displeasure. He engraved Cobol and sent it. Maybe, guys, the reason why this program became kind of a lot of people complain about it was, guys, 41 people made it. Too much inputs were given, you know? So the subcommittee did most work to create the specification, leaving the short-range committee to review and modify their work before producing the finished specification. It had to be adopted by many companies. You can do a loop with 1-2 line in the modern language. Took 7 in Cobol. Ew, that sounds so disgusting. Who developed this, guys? So in 1960, where a lot of them, programmers, non-programmers, design a program would be different then. Yeah, it seems maybe they weren't like, because it was 1959, that there wasn't, like, maybe it was one of those like things where the job title of programmer was so broad, like streamer is broad, so let's continue. During 1960, list of manufacturers planned to build Cobol compiler group. By September, 5 more manufacturers had joined Codasil. Oh, like Bendix Control Data Corporation, GE, National Cash Register, and Philco. And they all used the Cobol compiler. GE and IBM planned to integrate Cobol into their own language as GE Com and Comtran. And Contra's International Computers and Tabulators planned to replace their language with Cobol. Wow. I'm trying to see fine. In late 1962, both ISO and US American Standardized formed group to create standards. Yeah, Cobol is like went through all the things. So went through all the standardization and everything. By 1970, Cobol became the most widely used programming language in the world. Oh my god, I must have been so thirsty, guys. Sorry. So let's see. They describe new versions all the way, including changing features. And although Coda was independent of an ANSI committee, it was used to identify features that were popular enough to warrant implementing. The Programming Language Committee also worked with ECMA and the Japanese Cobol Standard Committee. What? In 1978, work began to revise Cobol 74. Proposed standard committee called Cobol 80 differed significantly from the previous one. Why Cobol history so much? All 6 features were changed, and wow, so they added end if, end perform, end read, continue, evaluate, initiate, initialize, perform. Dude, if we didn't know how to spell things, Cobol would be the worst program to use because it's so English heavy. Like, what if, I mean, like, they're using, like, easy words, like, continue, evaluate, but you're writing a book of program. Oh dear. Is this why people hated Cobol? Yeah. Oh, that's true. Like it seems like Cobol was pretty popular in like Japan and stuff. So for those people, they had to learn English. Unless they changed the wait, unless could they have changed their language into like their own language? Like could they have built a Cobol Japanese version or like Korean version? Where like they could write end to be like good. That would be cool. How important spelling? Procedural, which was fine back then, but as things got complex and faced faster pace, it grew inefficient. That's true. Why are we taught learning? Because we like learning. So let's talk about 2014. Between 2003 and 2009, the tech reports were produced describing object finalization, XML processing. 2002 suffered from poor support. No compilers completely supported the standard. Micro Focus found that it was due to a lack of user demand for new features and due to the abolition of the NIST test suite, which had been used to test compiler conformance. So we should just call Cobol grandma. Once you learn Cobol, most people liked it a lot. People don't like it because they didn't have access to mainframe when it was used. Would that be a wise business move before the e-com boom? Some bank paid tons of money. Testimony before the House of Representatives. So, wow. Oh my god, so let me just, funny story. Cobol, I mean, it's being used right now these days, so, right? One thing that's interesting is here. This is how they type it. They type this syntax, instead of writing like x is greater than y, they wrote it as x is greater than y. 와. 당연하죠. 죄송해요. 제가 뭐 했냐면요. 위키피디아에 들어가가지고 코볼 프로그래밍에 대해서 지금 설명을 저도 읽고 있었는데, 코볼 같은 경우는 1959년도부터 시작했던 프로그래밍이라고 하네요. 저도 들어도 어려워요. 그래서 그냥 이제 이 프로그램에 대해서 배우고 있는데, 사람들이 이 프로그램을 정말 싫어한대요. 그래서 왜 싫어하는지 보니까 일단은 너무 어렵고 너무 길고 너무 복잡하다. 왜냐면 이제 영어로 일일이 다 써야 되니까. 그런 얘기를 지금 나누고 있었습니다. 죄송해요. 이제 한국어로 또 중간중간 설명해 드릴게요. Slow to update the language. So when C came out, it gained a lot of popularity. Really? 그러니까 코볼은, 우리는 x가 y보다 크다를 그냥 이렇게 표현하잖아요. 근데 코볼은 이렇게 다 써야 된대. More complex condition can be abbreviated by removing repeated conditions and variable. 이건 좋네. Instead of writing A is greater than B and A is greater than C, or A equal D, this can be shortened to A greater than B and greater than C but equal to D. 뭐 이렇게 되네. 이렇게 써도 된다. 그러니까 요렇게 쓰는 것 바에 요렇게 써도 된다. 300 keywords. Hi Fate. There is estimated. 쳐낼까? 좀 닥치라야 될 것 같아. 꼴 보기 싫어. 나 처음부터 마음에 안 들었어. There is estimated some. 그래서 좀 타임아웃 시켰어요. 전공은 산업공학이에요. 이거 전혀 아니에요. 이거 한번 불가리 해야 되겠다. 쳐내는 사람들. 50 billion lines of Cobol running today? 이게 코볼이 역사가 깊은 프로그래밍이어가지고 완전히 he was being mean. He was being mean the other day, so I had eyes on him, but he's not being nice, so I kicked him. Sometimes you gotta get the ban whipping stuff. He was being disrespectful to boss. Oh. Yeah, well he was... Nah. Really had system calls or even functions? Everything was done by keyword? keyword가 근데 뭐야? Yeah. What are keywords? Like end 뭐 이런 거? You know how they had like greater 뭐 이런 거? Are these like keywords? 이런 게 키워드야? Having a mod is hard. 우와, do you guys know? 이것도 웃기다. So brace, 자, Cobol 봐봐. Add. Okay. Did they change those keywords into other language or is it in English? I think they're still in English. Because they say they have 300 keywords. 자, 봐봐. Guys, funny story. Brace. Sorry guys, that's not bracelet. 요거, this brace is only one option may be selected. For only one option. 그 다음에 이거는 이제 딱 하나만 정할 때. 그리고 야 이거 뭐야 헷갈려. 이거는 0 or 1 option. What the fudge? Maybe selected. 그리고 ellipsis는 이거라는데. This is apparently ellipsis for preceding elements may be repeated. 그 다음에 bars가 있는데 bars is there's like this 이것도 있고 this is for one or more may be selected. one or more. 야 이거 헷갈린다. 아니 그리고 if it's this 0 or more. 뭔 소리야? What's the difference? Wow! So an example looks like this. I'm not even going to write this. This is the description of the meta language used to describe Cobol syntax, not actually the language itself. 아, 그래요? 아, thanks extended. So I should move on. 아, 여기 코드 포맷이 있구나. 아, 여기 막 있구나. The word is like usage도 있고, 뭐 usage. So what's a meta language? What is meta language then? Scoping? I don't know. By the way, this wiki is so long. Is meta language how to talk about language? 아, 그런 건가? Let's talk about concerns about the design process. Doubt has been raised about the competence of the standard committee. Short-term committee members said that there was little control over the development process and that it was plagued by discontinuity of personnel or lack of talent. Ah, so people just make jokes out of Cobol. 시볼. Cobol was also intended to be easy for programmers to use and learn though, while still being readable to non-technical staff such as managers. The desire for readability led to the use of English-like syntax and structural elements such as noun, verb, clause, sentence sections, and divisions. Yet by 1984, maintainers were struggling to deal with incomprehensible code. 아, 맞습니다. 주식 얘기도 해요. 그래서 조만간 한국 주식 살 것 같아요. 그때는 한국어로 자주 얘기할 것 같아요. 죄송해요. 제가 영어 시청자들밖에 없어가지고 한국어가 있어야 제가 한국어를 해야 된다 생각이 드는데 죄송합니다. 한국어로 자주 얘기해 주시면 번역해 드릴게요. 코볼이 시볼이래요 원래는. One thing Cobol did that was wonderful was when you declared your variables, you also defined the format it would display. So wherever you used it, it had the right format. Wow. Yeah, I guess they're meta language then, right? So that was it for Cobol. 이게 Cobol이래요, 여러분. Cobol 아니 뭐 주식 아예 안 해요. 주식 못 해요. 주식 못 해가지고 주식 초짜입니다. 주식 잘하고 싶어도. 그래서 조만간 한국 주식부터 시작하려고요. 주식을 지금 7개월째 공부만 하고 있어요. 사진 않고. 자, so result. Cobol result. Cobol에 대해서 여러분 얘기를 할게요. It use English syntax. 여기서 영어 syntax를 많이 쓴다. 무슨 뜻이냐? What it means, it's not X is greater than Y. 아, 이거 too hard for people to understand. 이런 거 쓰면 여러분들 이해를 못한다고 하니까 매니저들이 Instead, they write X is greater than Y. Wow. So managers can understand. 매니저들 알기 위해서 이렇게 썼는데 반전이 뭐냐? But ironically, where the program is paid, that would be a good question. If it were, If they were being paid, damn. Remember how much money they would make? 자, 이렇게 설명. 근데 내가 한국 분들한테 궁금한 게 있어. 이거를 만약에 한국에서 썼다면 이것도 계속 영어로 써요? 아니면 한국어로 이게 번역된 게 있어요? 그러니까는 이걸 다 영어로 써야 되잖아. is도 영어로 쓰고 greater. 이거를 한국어로 안 썼나? 막 x는 뭐 이런 식으로 y보다 크다. 이게 프로그래밍 랭귀지야? 개떡같네. Ironically, English only야? Oh my god, shoot. So if you are Korean who don't know English, 어느 한글로 안 써? Hey. Oh damn, so if you guys don't know English, oh crap. 어떡해? Okay. 자, 그러면 ironically, what I wanna say is even if it was easy word. Sorry, we don't write long. 다 영어인가? 그래요? It was English. Manager still didn't understand. 그러니까 아무리 내가 열심히 the problem is that the more natural a language becomes, what Cobol was apparently attempting to do, the more ambiguous it becomes, make it disaster waiting to happen. We use symbols in mathematics for compression and abstraction, which we also need when designing non-trivial information algorithm. 네, 지금은 현재 한국에 있습니다. 역사 금융 쪽 일부나 우주선을 쓰인다고 저도 듣기만 했다고. 유니콘 같은 존재라고? Has anyone seen someone use Cobol? Or is it just kind of like a unicorn? At least YouTube is saying it's kind of like unicorn. Egg Life is saying. 맞아. 그런 거 많지. I'm thinking maybe business people use it. 형님 그냥 가요. Hi Ross. Really depend on your installation, but they were definitely available. 이거 floppy disk로? What if it's mostly business people using it though? I used Cobol more years ago than I cared. Python? Python? So maybe when C came along, people were like, oh shoot. 그러면 you know what the 반전 is? You know what's so crazy? 너무 신기한 게 뭔지 알아? 코볼이잖아. 근데 얘는 English syntax로 쓰잖아. So it's Cobol, they use full English term. Easier thing came out, it's just C. Sorry guys, I thought that was cool. You know, it's like C. It's just C. It's so easy. C. 아니야? Okay, guys, sorry. I don't know. Sorry, it was old dad joke. Dad joke, guys. Sorry, dad joke. My computer Yeah, I think it's some kind of accounting software that uses this. Some old Cobol engineers make a lot of money since few people know it. 좋네. That was really great that. 그래서 anyways, 여러분 이게 코볼입니다. 한 번도 이제 보지 않을 언어인 것 같아. No one will ever see this language. No one will ever see this language. That's all.